All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Jaron Ennis and Terence Crawford and what Terence Crawford had to say about a fight with him down the line. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division talking about one of the best fighters in the world, my call for the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Crawford, and my pick for the #1 contender in all of boxing, no matter what the weight classes are, and that is Jaron Boots Ennis out of the great city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we do on a daily basis, both in the video format and in the live stream format. All right, so hey, good to see you again. Got my energy up, man. Was coming off of recovering from COVID over the last week. So if you guys have heard a little bit of dips of energy in my videos, that's what it was. But I'm up, running, going, feeling great. And yesterday saw something on Showtime that made me feel even better, and that was Terence "Bud" Crawford giving an interview about the Errol Spence Jr. fight. And it looks to anybody with common sense, it looks like this fight is about to go. All right. And I'm sorry, man, I'm not going to sit around and wait around forever and ever and ever to believe that a boxing match is going to happen. All right. I don't need, some people say, oh, I need, because it hasn't happened yet. Look, man, because it hasn't happened yet. What do you mean it hasn't happened yet? They literally, Errol Spence Jr. just fought a couple months ago, and they've been talking about making the fight the entire time. And if the fight gets announced, more than likely it will be getting announced. It didn't happen. It didn't take a long time to happen after Errol got his after unified and got that third belt with your Danny Ugas. But whatever the case is, we have Terence Crawford, for the first time that I've ever seen, actually getting interviewed by Showtime, on Showtime, the network that would air the fight, the network that is talking about airing the fight, right? The only one in play for the fight is actually interviewing him on their network, asking him about the fight. That to me is a sign that these guys are going to be making this fight, because they wouldn't be out there baiting and switching you, right? And saying, okay, yeah, let's have him on the channel talking about the fight. Let's ask him about the fight. Errol Spence Jr. at the fight, at the Ray Vargas fight. And then, at the 12th hour, just, okay, it's not going to happen. It's the biggest fight in boxing. Steven Espinoza said they're just wrapping up a few little things. He didn't say the word little things. He said, we're just getting the fine tuning of the contract down, which was like significantly different than what he said before about the issue being people wanting Floyd Mayweather money. Whatever the case is, I think that we're getting there. But for the sake of this video, the thing that really interested me was the conversation they had about Jaron Ennis. Now, again, if you don't know who Jaron Ennis is, wake up, okay? And again, I am not waiting for y'all, man. Like, I've been watching boxing for a very, very long time. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all have been watching boxing for the last 10 years, the last 15 years. I've been watching boxing for over 40 years. I'm telling you, I can tell when you have a special fighter, and it does not make a lot of sense to wait around to prove to people, to your detractors and the detractors of any one particular fighter or entity or group of fighter or demographics of fighter, to wait around for them to catch up. I'm not doing it. Sorry. I didn't sit around and wait for people to catch up with Floyd Mayweather Jr. From the jump, I was like, that guy right there is like that. And it was very obvious that he was. But at the same time, you hear a bunch of people in the comment sections at the time, the comment sections were in like internet magazine, what do you call it? Like the websites like the Max Boxing website or Eastside Boxing websites, right? Before there was YouTube and videos where people would be in the comment sections of the videos, people used to be in the comment sections heavy of the articles that were written about boxing. So when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was coming up, you would hear anytime you would say, oh no, this guy is the best. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going to be the best fighter in boxing. At the time was Roy Jones, right? But was the best guy. But there was a lot of people talking about Floyd, and you would get run downhill super heavy for saying that, like, oh, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is better than Oscar De La Hoya. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going to be is a better fighter than, at the time, it was like Diego Corrales, right? He's Diego, and rest in peace to Diego Chico Corrales, right? All of that type of stuff people would see, but you get run down. No, all of that stuff, right? So I've been through this, and I'm not going through this again. Same thing with Terence Crawford. When Terence Crawford first came out, started talking about Terence Crawford and how excellent a fighter Terence Crawford was. And it was no. What has he done? Who's he fought? He ain't beat anybody. Look at this, look at that. Nah, man. That guy right there is an excellent fighter, man, and he's good enough to beat the guys that are in front of him, and the guys that you think can beat him can't do it. But we'll see when they get in the ring just if they can or they can't. So with Errol Spence Jr., well, you guys wait. I'm not going to wait. Certain things you can see, and I'm just going to go ahead and run with them and take this stance. You're going to have to prove me wrong in my mind for me to say that dude is not a special fighter. So Jaron Ennis to me is that type of fighter. And you had Terence Crawford actually acknowledging it and saying, as Errol Spence Jr. did, as Sean Porter has, as Roy Jones Jr. has, as Keith Thurman has, and anybody else that's actually, well, Keith Thurman was a little hesitant about telling the truth, but as anybody else, any of these other major fighters that really know what they're looking at will say about Jaron Ennis in a minute. Matter of fact, Sean Porter said that this dude, Jaron Ennis, may be the closest things to Roy Jones Jr. since Roy Jones Jr. And that is an incredible accomplishment considering the type of fighter that Roy Jones Jr. was at the peak of his career. Now, Terence Crawford was asked, would he fight him? And he said, yeah, well, he's a tremendous fighter, tremendous talent, knows his boxing. And, if it crossed my plate at the time and it was a good fight for me, yes, I would do it. Or yeah, I would be open to anybody. Let me interpret that answer. That answer is no. I'm not going to fight him. And I don't care. I know how to read between the lines. If somebody says, yes, down the line, if it's a good fight for me, yes. At 35 years old, there is no down the line for Terence Crawford. Okay? There is no down the line for Terence Crawford because down the line is next year? Down the line? No. Down the line could be 3 years from now. Yeah, 3 years from now. 3 years from now, he will be going on 38 years old. Jaron Ennis will be going on 28 years old. Terence Crawford is not going to be getting in the ring at 38 years old, 37 years old with Jaron Ennis and wind up having one of those moments that you regret for the rest of your life. So let's just take what Terence Crawford had said as an example of him politely bowing out, pretty much like everybody else in that age range and in that group is doing when they're talking about Jaron Ennis. Now, are they ducking him? Are they running from him? Are they scared from him? Look, if they had to fight that guy to make a living, right, they would probably fight him. Right? If this was if they were in the same situation that Archie Moore was when Archie Moore was 40 years old, right? Or however old he was when he fought Ali, then yeah, you say, man, okay, I'll come out for that paycheck against Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay at the time and get the brakes beaten off of me, right? But right now, not going to happen. But anyway, I just like that and appreciate that what he had to say about it, because this is a very, very special kid. And I'm telling you guys ahead of time, man, enjoy this guy and also enjoy the fights that you're getting, man. I hear a lot of people in the comment section talking about how they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about, even though you still come to the comment section to talk about it, which is kind of ironic to me. But look, man, boxing is meant to be talked about. It's meant to be speculated about. It is absolutely be something that's supposed to be fun in your life, man. It's not supposed to be a trip to the dentist, right? Where let me know if I have a cavity or not. You know what I mean? No, in that particular incident, you want them to tell you, is there a cavity on my tooth or not? What we're going to do about it? Fix it. Let's go. But a conversation about an art like boxing or like a painting or like music, those type of things are supposed to be speculated on. They're supposed to be talked about ad nausea over and over and over again because it's called recreation. But anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.